Hi guys, welcome back. Hope you're all feeling well, ready to do some stretching. We're working a lot on our shoulders and our arms today, working in our eagle pose. So we're starting off first sitting down however is comfortable. So legs are crossed, or you can drop down the knees, opening up through the hips more, lengthening up through your spine, relaxing your shoulders, closing your eyes, resting your hands on your knees, taking a few moments here to focus on your breath, deepening your inhale. On your next exhale, we're going to round out through the shoulders, so circling your shoulders forwards, allowing all the work to be in your shoulder area, so your arms are just along for the ride, they're loose and heavy by the sides, easing out any tension from the upper arms, from the upper back, and from the shoulder area. Reversing the circle, sending the shoulders backwards this time. Working more and opening up into the chest, squeezing your shoulder blades together at the back. And resting back down. From here, loosening off through the neck. We're going to drop our right ear down to our right shoulder, rolling through chin to chest until the left ear comes to the left shoulder. And then back the way we came, just creating half circles. Loosening off through the neck, through the shoulders, everything is connected. Being nice and gentle with your body. You can stay here, or if it's okay with your neck, we can create full circles, gently tipping your head back. If it's not comfortable to do full circles, then just stay with your half circles. We're still breathing, still trying to relax through your shoulders, still lengthening up through the spine. Next time the chin comes to the chest, we're going to take our circles the opposite way around, gently tipping our head back if you like. And bringing your head back to center. Hands together in prayer at heart center, interlacing the fingers, taking the arms up to the sky. We just want to lengthen out through the sides of the body, so just taking a little rock from one side to the other. Loosening off through the arms, through the ribs, through the side of the waist, even stretching a little bit into your hips. And releasing back down. Bringing your chin towards your chest, blinking open your eyes if you haven't done so already. Still lengthening through our arms, we're going to stretch our left arm up to the sky. We're going to hold onto the left wrist with the right hand. We're going to extend up through the left arm and take a tip over towards the right side. We're trying to make the left side of our body as long as possible because we're going to be binding ourselves up later. Releasing back to the middle, rolling through your shoulders before we do the other side. So stretching up with the right hand, holding onto the right wrist with the left hand, giving a little pull up to the sky before taking the tip over towards the left side this time. Still trying to keep your right shoulder back as we take the tip over to the left side. Releasing back to the middle, releasing your arms. From here, extending your arms out in line with your shoulders, we're just going to rotate through the palms. So one is going to turn under and the other up to the sky, twisting around as much as you can before twisting around the other way. As we rotate, we're just rotating through the palms, but the arms then end up turning as well, and we get the rotation into your shoulders. That is what we're aiming for. So you don't need to use blocks for this, but if you want to, it does make the twist more noticeable. So holding the blocks in your hands, everything else is exactly the same. Twisting around with the blocks, twisting around through the wrists, twisting around through the arms, through the shoulders. From here, we are circling around with the arms and forcefully pushing away. Circling around, pushing away, trying not to drop your arms lower than your shoulders. So we're strengthening up through the upper body as well. Releasing back to center, shaking out. From here, let's bind our arms into our eagle arms. So bending at the elbows, we're going to start by bringing our right arm underneath the left, the back of the hands together. Or if you can try and bring the palms together, reaching up through the fingertips. We want our elbows to be in line with our shoulders, and then our wrists to be in line with our elbows. From here, we're taking a little twist around to one side, bringing your arms back to center, twisting around to the other side. So the twist is coming from your waist, but we are going to feel a stretch and work happening in our shoulders, in our arms. It's kind of like we're just showing our arms to everybody in the room, showing everybody how good our eagle arms look, how fierce we are. Next time your arms are back in the middle, this time we are moving on. So we're lifting up the elbows this time, above the shoulders, and then dropping them down just below the shoulder level. So sliding, gliding your arms up, and sliding, gliding the arms back down. There's no need to rush through the movement. However fast or slow feels good for you, that is the right speed you should be going. Next time your elbows are in line with your shoulders, we're going to take our wrists, our hands away from the face, and then bending back in. So extending out with the arms, bringing the arms back in. So don't worry, we're not going to be able to get our arms fully straight. And releasing, shaking out through your shoulders, giving them a little rub, give them a little pat. Let's do exactly the same but at the other side. So this time we want to bring the left underneath the right. Elbows are stacked one on top of the other, palms together if you can, or the back of the hands together. When you're ready, we're going to start with our twist, taking our arms over to one side, showing it off. Bringing your arms back to center, showing your arms over to the other side. We're still relaxing through the shoulders. We're still long through the spine as we twist around the spine. We are still breathing. Bringing your arms back to center. Bringing back our lift, gliding the arms, the elbows up, and sliding the arms down. Slow and controlled moves. Still breathing, still trying to relax through the body. And our last move here, extending out through the arms, taking the hands away from the face, and then bending through the elbows again, drawing the arms back in. Extending out as much as we can, and returning the arms back to how we started. And releasing, shrugging out through your shoulders. Let's just stretch out through the neck once more. So we're going to cross the left hand over towards the right knee and the right hand just behind you, or you can bind it around, trying to grab your inner thigh. We're taking our gaze over the left shoulder, stretching out into your neck to begin with. And then into our spinal twist, we're going to take our gaze over the right shoulder as we twist around, trying to look behind us. Pushing against the knee, using your hands to help the twist. We inhale, lengthen, exhale, twist. Releasing back to center, shrugging off. Other side, so the right hand to the left knee, left hand just behind you. Taking your gaze over the right shoulder. If you want to bind your left hand behind your back, trying to grab your inner thigh, then you can do. But we're still looking over our right shoulder to begin with. And then into our spinal twist, so looking over the left shoulder, pushing against the knee, twisting around, trying to look towards the back, using our exhale to twist our body further, and releasing, shrugging out through the body. Now we're going to stretch out through the legs, through the hips. So first, just bring the circulation back around by extending your legs out, flexing and pointing through the feet. Easing out the legs after being sat with our legs crossed for such a long time. Now hopefully you haven't got a dog sat in your way for this one, but you can still work it. We are stretching into our hips, so we want to bend in our left leg and take the foot just outside of the hip. We're extending out with the right leg, keeping the leg straight, flexing through the foot. Our right hand is going just behind us, but our left elbow is coming to the inside of the left knee. We're lengthening up through the spine, and we're taking a twist around to look at the straight leg side. To get the work happening in our hip, we have to forcefully push the elbow against the knee, but we're resisting the move by pushing the knee against the elbow. You are in control of how hard you are working here. Easing off whenever you need, and then one last time, pushing the elbow against the knee. And releasing, drawing the legs back in, exactly the same on the other side. So this time the right knee is staying bent as we take the foot just outside of the hip, extending out with the left leg. Flexing into the foot, left hand behind, right elbow to the inside of the right knee. Lengthening up through your spine, taking your gaze towards the straight leg side, pushing your elbow against your knee against the elbow. Creating the work that's happening into the hip. Easing out whenever you need. If you imagine you've got a 50-pound note stuck between the knee and the elbow, someone is trying to pull it away, but you don't want them to pull it away. So we have to create that hold there with our knee and our elbow. And releasing. From here, coming into our yogi squat variation, so we can stay with our bum sat down, our feet are out wider than our hips, our elbows are coming to the inside of the knees, and hands together in prayer. Or if you feel comfortable, you can take your bum off the supports. Heels can stay down, or you can lift them slightly if it's more comfortable. We can stay still as we keep our spine long, or you can take a little wriggle around, trying to loosen off more through the hips. Easing back down, just make your way into a little ball, rounding out through the spine, hugging your knees. And then just taking everything off your mat. We're going to make our way into a tabletop position. So our wrists are underneath our shoulders. However, with the lower body, if we can, we want to cross the right knee over the left, towards the left side of the left leg. So our knees are stacked one on top of the other. Then when we're ready, we're going to round out and puff through our cat and cow. So lifting up the chest, lifting up the tailbone, bringing the chin towards the chest, tucking the tailbone under, rounding out through your spine. So everything else is exactly the same as a normal cat and cow. We just have our legs twisted up. So we're working more into stretching through our hips, preparing our body for what's to come later. Exhaling as we round out through the back. Inhaling as we lift up the chest. Coming back to neutral spine. From here we are coming into our nosy cat. So we're just looking over one shoulder and then over the other, twisting through the hips as well. So when I look over my left shoulder, my hips shift to the left. When I look over to my right shoulder, my hips shift to the right. Just getting more twist through the waist, some lateral movement for the spine. Releasing back to the middle, releasing our legs. Let's do exactly the same, but binding our legs the other way this time. So the left knee is over the right. Working into your cat and cows, lifting the chest, rounding out through your spine. You can close your eyes and take your practice deeper. You can work with your breath to control the speed of your move, feeling the changes in your body. Coming back to neutral spine and then working with our nosy cat, looking over one shoulder, twisting through the hips, looking over the other shoulder. This pose also has multi-purpose, as you can check to make sure your dog is not around or that she hasn't left any toys that you're going to trip over. Practical yoga. Releasing back to the middle, we're going to stretch out with a downward dog. So curling the toes under, lifting the hips up high, getting the length through the arms, the spine, tilting the sit bones up towards the sky, and maybe bringing your heels down with your exhale. Shaking out through the head and the neck, looking towards your knees or towards your ankles. Spreading through the fingers. We can stay still or we can add some movement, pedaling through the heels. Pedaling through the shoulders as well if it feels good for you. Loosening off, bringing more flexibility into the body. Stretching back up through center one last time. Before bringing yourself down to your resting position, which is child's pose, big toes together, knees wide apart, sitting back on your heels, stretching your arms forwards, resting your head down if you can. Taking a few breaths here, relaxing your body, calming your mind. While we're here, we're going to get a shoulder stretch as well. So we're going to feed our right arm underneath the left, trying to bring the right ear or the right shoulder down to the ground. Taking our gaze over towards the left side. You can stay here or we can increase the stretch slightly by taking our left arm, wrapping it around behind our back, trying to reach our inner thigh, sending your elbow up to the sky, bringing your left shoulder back, increasing your twist, increasing your stretch. Releasing back to the middle. Exactly the same but on the other side. So the left arm is coming underneath the right, trying to bring your left ear, left shoulder down to the ground, taking your gaze over towards the right side. If this is comfortable, we're going to stay here, or if you want that little bit extra, taking your right hand, wrapping it around behind your back, trying to grab your inner thigh, drawing your right elbow, your right shoulder back. Still breathing into the twist, into your shoulder stretch. Releasing back to center. So if you can from here, we're going to take a few blocks and we're going to stack them up. If you don't have blocks, just any surface that you can just prop your elbows onto, that is fine. So the edge of a chair works perfectly. We're bringing our elbows on and we're bringing our hands together in prayer. If you can, we're trying to get our elbows as close together as possible. We're lengthening through our spine as we stay kneeling, so you might want to shuffle your knees a little bit further away from the body where they already are. We're bringing our chest down between our arms, and if you can, try and work to bring the hands back towards the back of your neck. Releasing from the arm and shoulder stretch. Moving your blocks away. We're going to roll ourselves over so we can lay down on our back. So you can make your surface as comfortable as you want. I'm going to lay down my blanket. I like to be comfortable. Laying down so your spine is long. going to start by hugging our right knee in towards our chest, hugging the knee down. On your exhale, lifting up nose towards knee, rounding out into your back. And releasing your head down. From here, the right leg, the leg that we were just hugging in, we're going to bring the right ankle towards the left knee, flexing through the foot. The right hand to the inside of the right knee, we are pushing the right knee away. You can stay here, or we can reach through for the downward leg, grabbing behind the thigh, or grabbing your shin, hugging the leg in, trying to rest your head and your shoulders down on the ground. If your head's slightly off the floor, then just place a pillow underneath your head. Breathing, relaxing into your hip stretch. We carry a lot of tension around our hips, so it's important to breathe, to release any tension and not create it. If you're still watching the screen, then you've noticed that by now Jessica has managed to trap her foot in her donut toy. Don't worry, I do realise soon. You can stay with this stretch, or we can increase it by sliding our right leg more across the left so our knees are stacked one on top of the other, reaching up to grab the feet if we can, and then pulling the feet down. We still want to keep the knees in as close to the chest as we can. It's like our Gomakasana, but we are laying down, so our Gomakasana has fallen over. Keeping your legs bound, we're just going to release the left leg back down to the ground. We're working our abdominal muscles now, so to make it more comfortable, we're going to bring our hands into a triangle just underneath our lower back. Keeping our lower back pressed into the ground, we're going to draw our knees in towards our chest and then tap the foot back down to the ground. So our legs are in our eagle legs as we draw the knees in and tap away. We're drawing our belly button in towards our spine, engaging our Uddiyana Bandha. We're working our hips as well. You can stay with this, or we can bind up our arms as well. So if it's difficult when laying down, then just clasp your hands, bring your elbows together. Or if you can, our arms like to follow what our legs are doing. So with our eagle arms, our left is going to be underneath the right as we bind our hands up. From here, we're going to work to lift both sides of the body at the same time, so the upper and the lower as we crunch the elbows, trying to touch the knees, and releasing back down. So the feet are lifting, the head, neck and shoulders are lifting as well, and tapping back down, crunching your body, and releasing. We are still breathing. Controlling the move, so the slower you move, the harder the move will be. We're not reliant on momentum. We are controlling every aspect of the move. Releasing your arms, keep your legs bound, but release your leg back to the ground. We're just going to drop our knees down to one side, up through the middle, over to the other side. Loosening off through the lower back. And because our legs are twisted up, we're getting more of a stretch into our hips as well. And releasing. Let's do all of that work on the other side. So we're going to start by bending in our left knee, wrapping our hands around the knee, hugging the knee down. On your exhale, lifting up nose towards knee, rounding out through the body. Releasing your head back down, taking your left foot, placing it to the right knee, flexing through the left foot. The left hand onto the inside of the left knee, pressing your left knee away from the body, starting by stretching your hips. So this is your first option. You do not need to move from here. Or if you want to, we can reach through for the downward leg, behind the thigh, hugging the shin, hugging your leg down. Trying to relax your head back down to the mat Feeling the stretch in your glutes, in your hips. This is your option too. We can stay here. Or if you want to take the stretch one step further, we can slide the left leg more across the right. Knees are stacked one on top of the other, reaching up to grab the feet, pulling the feet down, still trying to keep the knees in as close to the chest as we can. Breathing deeply. Allowing yourself to relax further. Releasing your leg back down to the ground, but keeping your legs bound up. Bringing your hands back underneath the tailbone, drawing your belly button in towards your spine, and then when you're ready, keeping your head, neck and shoulders down. We're crunching the knees into your chest and releasing the legs back down. So we're not just swinging the legs around, we are controlling the move. So you can stay here. Any neck or shoulder issues, you do not need to lift the upper body as well. However, if you want to, we can bind the hands back in. However you had them before, that's fine, as long as we go the opposite way around this time. So arms like to follow what the legs are doing, so this time the right arm is underneath the left. Back of the hands together or palms together. As we lift off the head, neck and shoulders, trying to bring your elbows to touch your knees, releasing back down. Crunching in the upper and the lower body. Holding for a moment at the top if you can before releasing. Remember to keep breathing. Switching on your core. Protecting your body as well as strengthening your body. Releasing down, untangling your arms, but keeping your legs bound up as we drop our knees back down to one side, up through the middle, over to the other side. Just loosening off with this spinal twist, with your hip stretch. Trying to keep your shoulders down on the ground as we twist through. Chest is pointing up towards the sky. Arms are out by our sides to encourage our shoulders to stay down. From here, we're going to cross our legs at our shins, sending our knees out wide, just like we usually sit when we're upright. But this time we're laying down. You can stay here, or we can stretch into the chest and the shoulders by holding onto the opposite elbow, bringing your arms up and overhead to the floor behind. Closing our eyes while we're here. We're working to stretch out through the thighs, opening up through your hips more. Opening up through your chest, stretching out through your shoulders. Closing your eyes, taking this time to relax your body completely before we make our way up to standing. Feeling the strength in your body, feeling grounded to the floor, feeling centered. Feeling the connection with your breath, with your limbs. Feeling strong and powerful. After your next breath, bring your arms back over your chest, uncross your legs. Stretching into a happy baby pose, we're taking our feet up to the sky but bending knees. Holding on to the feet if you can, or anywhere on the legs. Our knees are out wide. We can stay still or we can take a little rock from one side to the other, loosening off into your hips. Crossing your legs at the ankles, holding a knee in each hand, pulling the knees down. Crossing your legs the other way, hugging the knees down, massaging your lower back into the mat. From here, just rock yourself up so we can come up to standing. However you want to get there is fine. And we're standing. So we're going to start by taking everything off the mat. We don't need anything to begin with, just ourselves. We're going to just roll through the feet, roll through the toes, roll through the ankles, roll through your shoulders. Circling out through our right leg now, we're just circling around with the toes, with the ankle. Trying to make the circles as big as you can. And reversing the circles, circling around the other way. Lifting up the foot, placing the top of the foot down to the ground, pressing through the front of the ankle, stretching into the leg. If you get cramp here, just ease off and then press back in when you feel ready. And releasing other side, so starting circling through the ankles, through the toes, circling through your hip as well while we're here. Reversing your circles, circling around the other way. Lifting up the foot, the top of the foot presses down as we press through the front of the ankle, lengthening out through the leg. It's important to work your ankles, your knees when we do our balancing poses, strengthening from the ground up. So moving on, we're going to bring our legs together, our hands to our knees, and we are just bouncing, rocking forwards and backwards. A similar move now, but this time we are going around in circles. Still working through the ankles, the knees, your hips, circling the opposite way around. And back up to the middle. Testing our balance now more as we work through our hip. We're circling around with our right leg, around and out, around and out. You can tap down the foot every time, or you can test your balance more by keeping the leg elevated. And circling in the opposite direction, circling in this time. Drawing your belly button in long through your spine. Other side, circling around with the left leg, circling around and out and down, around and out and down. With or without the tap. Circling in reverse, so around and in this time. Working through your hip. And back to the middle, loosening off. So now we are finally at our eagle pose, yay! So we can use some blocks if we want to. So our first option is we are starting with our knees bent. We are crossing our right leg over. As we do this, you can tap down on the blocks. It gives you that height of the leg, but it makes you feel more secure. Your option 2 is to just cross the leg one on top of the other. Your option 3 is to try and bind the leg completely, the thighs and around the lower part of the leg as well. Our hips are square, our spine is long, our tailbone is tucked under, our shoulders are relaxed down wherever we are. We bind the arms, so bending the elbows, the arms like to copy what the legs are doing. So the left is underneath the right, our elbows are stacked one on top of the other, lengthening up through the fingers. So our elbow wants to be in line with our shoulders and our wrists want to be in line with our elbows. We're relaxing our shoulders down. We are breathing, spreading through the toes of the balancing leg. And the more you bend the balancing leg knee, the easier it will be to bind the legs. From here, we're bringing a crunch in through the spine, so drawing your chin towards your chest, rounding out through the upper back, drawing your elbows in, rounding through the middle back, rounding through your lower back. Challenging your balance as we move our body around. Still breathing as we gently lift back up to the top. Very nice, guys, I'm sure. Releasing. Exactly the same on the other side. So moving the blocks if we've got them. This time the left leg is crossing over the right, whatever option is best for you. Using the blocks or binding the leg completely. Hips are square, tailbone's tucked under, core is braced, arms extended. This time the right arm is underneath the left, back of the hands together or palms together. Elbows in line with shoulders, wrists in line with the elbows. Relaxing your shoulders down, lengthening through your spine, still breathing. On your next exhale, let's begin crunching in through the spine. So bringing your elbows in, tucking in the chin, rounding out through the upper back, through the middle back, through the lower back. Staying balanced, feeling strong. Crunching in your body just like we did when we were laying down on the ground. And releasing back up to the top just as slowly. Releasing the limbs, shaking out. Just one last variation. So finding our eagle pose again, whether we're using the supports or not, squaring our hips, binding up the arms. So back to our first side, the arms are copying what the legs are doing. Feeling secure, feeling balanced. So we're staying strong through the lower body, but we're going to bring back the twist we did at the beginning. So just twisting around from the waist and above as we take our arms over to one side. Back through center, shifting your arms over to the other side. So we inhale through center. Exhale, twisting around, taking our arms over to one side. Inhaling back through center. Exhale, twisting our arms, our upper body over to the other side. So the slower you go, the more control you will need. And this is so hard because our gaze is constantly moving. Perfect. Other side, guys. Binding your legs, binding your arms, finding your balance, finding the connection back with the breath, taking a moment to be still before we add the movement. When you're ready, we're going to bring back that shift through the upper body, so twisting around to one side, back through center, twisting around to the other side, trying your best to keep your hips square to the front. Connecting with your breath, exhale, twisting to one side. Inhale, back to center. Exhale, twisting over to the other side. Inhale, returning back to the middle. And releasing, just rubbing out through the legs. Perfect. Stretching our arms up to the sky, bending your knees, hands down to the ground, lengthening back up through center, hands down, bending your knees, re-energizing your body, loosening off, circling the arms, bending the knees. Next time our fingertips are down on the ground, we're just going to pedal out through the heels, through the legs, through the ankles, bending one knee and the other. Rolling yourself back up to the top, taking our feet out about hip distance apart, clasping your hands behind your back, opening up your chest, leading with the chest as we fold forwards. Getting the shoulder stretch as well as we allow our arms to come overhead from behind. You can keep your legs straight or you can bend your knees slightly. as we take our weight into the toes, the ball of the foot, leading with the chest as we lift back up to the top. One last forward fold here. We're going to hold onto the opposite elbow as we reach up with our arms, leading with the chest as we fold ourselves down again. When we're at the bottom, we can stay still and relax our body here, or we can take a little sway from one side to the other, easing off through the back more, stretching our body back out after binding ourselves up. Staying with this, or we can bring our first two fingers, hooking them around the big toe, thumb on the outside, widening the elbows, trying to fold more towards your legs. I feel when I do this stretch, I get more stretch into the spine by pulling on the big toes. Releasing back up to the top. Beautiful. Now we're on our way back down the hill, so making your way down to the ground. We're going to sit down, however is comfortable for you is fine, but to ease off the legs more, I'm coming into the hero pose. So knees are staying together, our feet are behind, sitting back on the supports, stretching your fingertips down, easing out through the spine, so just rounding out, shaking out through your shoulders, whatever feels good for you, taking a little tilt from one side to the other. From here, bring your hands together in prayer at heart center, pressing your hands against your chest against your hands. Taking a moment to focus to center, interlacing your fingers, turning your palms inside out, stretching your arms forwards, chin to the chest, rounding out through the back. Stretching your arms straight up towards the sky, lengthening up through center. And just like we started, we're going to take a little rock from one side to the other. So at the beginning we were creating length, and now we're just easing back out through the body. Releasing your arms down. This time interlacing your hands behind your back, pulling down against the arms as we fold forward down towards our knees, bringing our head down to the ground if we can, stretching out into your shoulders. Pulling against the arms, lifting yourself back up to the top, giving yourself a big hug, wrapping your arms around your body, bringing your chin in towards your chest. We're taking a little rock from one side to the other, stretching out through the shoulder blades, and releasing, crossing our arms the opposite way so the other arm is on top this time, hugging in, bringing back our rock. Releasing back to the middle. Closing your eyes, relaxing your hands on your knees. You can turn your palms facing up to help your shoulders relax down more. Taking a few breaths here, inhaling energy, exhaling any fatigue, inhaling calm, exhaling tension. On your next inhale, circle your arms up towards the sky, palms meeting at the top, exhale lower. Inhaling calm, exhaling any tension. One more time. This time pausing when your hands meet your third eye. The highest in me honors the highest in you. Lower your fingertips towards your lips. May the words you speak always be kind and true to others, but more importantly to yourself. And lower your hands towards your heart center. May you always have pure intentions. Bow your chin towards your chest. Thank your body for your health and today's practice. Blinking open your eyes when you're ready. Well done, team. As always, like, subscribe so you don't miss anything, especially Jessica, because Jessica is the real reason you're here. Bye guys. stay safe, stay healthy, and keep practicing yoga.